Hi, my name is Annika Voorhees. Today we're going to be looking at Dropbox, Rubrics, and Turnitin.com on Desire to Learn. So let's get started. So for Dropbox, we want to go to Assessment and select Dropbox. Pretty simple and direct. All right, and once here, we want to add a new folder. As you see, I already have 4 developed here, so let's go ahead and add one more. So week 5 Dropbox, if I can spell it correctly. And then let's look at some of the options here. So as you can see, we have a few different options. We can record audio, add attachments. We can make it an individual or a group assignment. And if you do group, of course, you select category. We have submission types. And if we only want to let them submit one or unlimited, which is a nice feature, because sometimes students accidentally submit the wrong thing or they make a change before the deadline hits. So we want to make, or at least I always make sure they have unlimited. All submissions are kept. All right, now here we go for Turnitin.com. In Desire to Learn, it's called the originality check. So we want to check that. We also want to, nope, we don't need to select a category, okay. Let's select the score. I'm just setting everything at 10 for now. And we're putting this as the week 5 Dropbox. And then we see how students would see that. All right, and let's look at our originality check options. So this is Turnitin. So we want to allow users to see the reports that are run and automatically check. We're going to select all of the databases, grammar checks, all of those. All right, we're all set. So we just click Save and Close. Really, really easy to set this up. The only tricky thing is knowing that originality is Turnitin and selecting those options. All right, so we've already covered Turnitin and Dropbox. So now we want to take a look at Rubrics. So if we head to Rubrics, I'll show you the one that I've created already, but first let's take a look at setting it up because there are a few tricky things that I think could cause some issues. So if we go to New Rubric and take a look, let's just go ahead and give this a general name. So discussion posts. All right, so first you have to make sure that when you're ready that you set this as published. It's automatically in draft and it can be easy to forget that. All right, and then you also have to select what type of rubric you want. So if it's analytic, you're going to have to select the number of levels and the number of criteria. And then you can select text only, points, or custom points. We're going to go with points. And you can select visibility for students, whether you want it always visible, hidden until it's published, or it's just never visible to them. And if you want to hide scores from students, though I'm not sure why you would want to do that. Oops. Let's go ahead and expand that. And then, all right, so we would click Save, but we're certainly not done because we haven't done the levels and criteria. So if we go to the levels and criteria, as you can see, here is the basic outline for your rubric. Now here's where it gets a little bit trickier. You can't just change everything in here. You have to go to each to change it. So typically for level 1, I leave that at 0 points because it's something that is either barely there or it's absent. It doesn't meet any of the standards. And then you'll see, then you can start putting in the criteria in here. So you have to actually go in to do this. All right, I'm going to go back and show you a completed rubric. And as you can see, it is in draft mode right now. So in order to assign this, you have to publish it. And that can be something that is so easy to forget. So if you take a look here, I've laid out the rubric, which rubrics do make it much easier to grade, particularly when you're grading papers, because it can give students a broad overview of their grade, and then the feedback is additional and gives them more information. So as you can see, we go from high proficiency down to no or limited, where things are simply not there. So it's one thing you have to remember when creating rubrics. But as you can see, we have all of the details for each of the categories here. Now, if we want to add this to an assignment, we are going to actually add this to our discussion board post. Oops. So if we click on that, we can go back in, and as you can see here, it says rubrics. There's no rubric selected. All you do is click add rubric. Click on the title of the rubric and add selected. And then your final step is to save and close. So pretty easy, but you have to go in multiple places in order to connect this to the assignment you want to connect it to. So there are a few extra steps, and there are a few things that could cause some problems, but there are also things that make this pretty easy as well, or very user-friendly and good for students. So of course we want ways to incorporate rubrics into assignments. It just takes a few steps to do that. Once you've figured it out and have done it a few times, it will become easier. All right, thank you.